Hello again, one and all. Welcome to Odders Plays. Today we're talking about Nintendo's E3 press conference and everything they did after with Treehouse Live, because I want to tell you guys exactly why I personally believe Nintendo's E3 is not only the best E3 they've done in years, but the best thing we saw come out of E3 this year. Very lofty claims, but I'm willing to try my best to back these up. Okay, so let's first off start by going through everything that happened during Nintendo's E3 digital event. Now, as a Nintendo fan, I'm obviously more excited by this than most. It kick-started off with Reggie walking on stage, robot chicken style, introducing himself, basically saying Mother 3 wasn't his problem and there were no new Mario games. It seems like an alternate universe. A day when Nintendo comes on stage and says, we've got no Mario games. Everyone always criticised them for having Mario games, even Nintendo themselves. Like, we've never seen them make fun of themselves for this. I've never thought I'd ever see the day where even in jest they would ever say, yeah, we've put too many Mario games out. I never thought I'd see them say it, but they basically did. It might have been tongue-in-cheek, but they fucking said it. It blew me away. We've got little robot chicken style links. We've got annoying fans in the crowd, which I'm guessing is what Reggie's Twitter looks like every day. And it was really refreshing to see. It was something I hadn't seen from Nintendo in a while. It was this really jokey, tongue-in-cheek way of displaying things, and I loved it. Getting straight into it was one of the best things I've ever fucking seen. It was Reggie versus Iwata. It kicked off. As soon as I saw Iwata standing there in the darkness, I was like, oh shit, he looked like a badass. Fast forward a little bit, Reggie's there too, and I was like, are they gonna throw down? And then shit started kicking off. I was like, the fuck's going on? So happy. so happy. I thought it looked incredible. It was, yeah, absolutely blew me away, and it turned out to be a nice reveal for the Mii's in Super Smash Bros., which makes so much sense. For a while now, people have been saying, oh, Reggie in Brawl and stupid shit like that. Putting Mii's in Brawl is an easy way to say, hey, we sorta did it, everyone. Hey. And yeah, it works fine. No one would actually want Reggie in Brawl. Anyone that actually thinks, yeah, having Reggie in Super Smash Bros. Is a good idea, they're an idiot. That's not a good idea. But Mii's, I can deal with that. There are 3 different types of Mii which were announced, which are the Swordsman, the Brawler, and the Weird Gunner Arm Cannon one. And they all seem to take different moves from different characters already in Smash Bros. For example, the Brawler, I immediately noticed, had a kick which was identical to Zero Suit Samus's now. And the sword-wielding character will have Link-style attacks, Marth-style attacks, a little bit of everything, and of course the arm cannon is going to take heavily from both Mega Man and normal Samus. Which again, I can't complain about that. It seems to be a little mashup between the characters, and I think they said that these characters won't be available in full Glory mode online, which makes shitloads of sense. But yeah, as soon as I get my hands on that game, expect to see Jesus versus Hitler, because that's entirely necessary. Yeah, absolutely loved it. Really excited for Smash Brothers, as you know. And again, more tongue-in-cheek nonsense, saying Elijah Wood likes to battle and Lincoln gets sworn in. That's just cool though. I was watching it and I was really happy. A load more stuff for the 3DS version has been announced, which has been pushed back to October 3rd. But what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? There's loads of stuff coming, and their excuse was that all the games need extensive testing. But from the looks of it, really, I think they just want to stagger the release dates, which makes complete sense if you ask me. I would totally want to stagger those release dates if I were releasing them. But the 3DS game looks like it's got a lot of unique content that's only going to be on the 3DS version, and as a result, I can only assume the Wii U version will be similar in the fact that there are going to be modes and events and abilities that you can't use in the other version, making both a necessary purchase for the big Smash Bros. Fans. And I can't complain about that because I was probably going to fucking buy both anyway. It'd be nice if I could, say, buy the 3DS version digitally and then get £15 off that Wii U version when that releases. That would be nice. But, you know, failing that, you know, this is fine. So that's all on the way. Then we get introduced to Amiibo, which not so crazy about, as you can imagine. Amiibo are the Nintendo figurine project, the near field communications, which we've heard a lot about, but nothing concrete. Basically, Mario Kart 8 and Super Smash Bros. Are going to be using Amiibo. Yeah, fucking, the word sounds stupid to me still. The thing is, as a Nintendo fan myself, and I said this before, I am totally gonna buy these figures. I am gonna fucking put them on my shelf. I buy figures for other random shit I like. There just hasn't been any really good Nintendo figures to buy which aren't ridiculously expensive. These are apparently between 10 to 15 American dollars. I can assume them to be a tenner or less in the UK, which is the price I sort of assumed. And for that, I'll totally buy them and have a little collection, to be honest. I'll buy a couple every time I get paid and be like, yes, add into the shelf. I'm so happy with that. The Amiibo figures have been confirmed to have some sort of memory storage capacity inside them. Likely for Smash Bros. To carry over custom movesets, and likely for Mario Kart 8 to carry over your favourite kart combos and your favourite tracks, so maybe even ghost time trials and such and such. Totally happy with that. I don't actually know anyone who lives anywhere fucking near me and actually owns a Wii U that I can hang out with and play games with. But like I said, I'll probably buy these fucking figures anyway. But if you are in the situation where people around you own Wii U's and you want to take them to your friends' houses, that's awesome. The next game we see displayed is Yoshi's Woolly World, they've announced now, which is only coming out next year. A little bit disappointing. I genuinely did expect this to be a late 2014 title, seeing as we saw screenshots for it last year. But 2015 it is. I am going to estimate early 2015. I'm going to say February, between February and May. I'm going to say between those dates, and that's where I'd expect it to come. It looks absolutely fucking gorgeous. It proves that art style wins out over realistic graphics any fucking day. The wool looks so fucking good, and this is the thing about Nintendo. While every other developer is saying, look at the fucking next gen polygons we put into this, Geezer's face looks real, Nintendo are like, we don't want their face to look real, we want the world to look real, we want it to look completely impossible, but we want it to look and feel like it could be a breathing world, and they did that with Yoshi's Woolly World. They totally did that. The wool looks gorgeous. It's all incredibly smooth because it's a really simple game. It's you know, it's 2D platformer. It's side scrolling. It looks very simple. I can imagine that would be running in 60 frames per second quite easily. And to be honest, that's what matters for me. Things like that extra bit of smooth gameplay makes the difference for me. You know, it really fucking does. And anyone that says like 60 frames per second doesn't make a game, they're wrong, because I genuinely feel I enjoy a game more when it's got a smoother frame rate. It's just a fact. You know, on PC games, I'm always looking through the settings and saying, oh well, I'll sacrifice that for the frame rate a bit more, I'll sacrifice that for the frame rate. Hell, I will drop resolution for frame rate any day of the week. I know, I love resolution, I want to see everything in 1080, but if the difference between me getting 40 frames per second and 60 frames per second, or well, maybe not that much, but is, you know, 1080 and 720, if that's the difference, then I will make that sacrifice any fucking day of the week, to be honest. Absolutely. And yeah, so Yoshi's Woolly World, it looks great, it looks gorgeous. I absolutely adore it. Next game up is Captain Toad, who you may remember from Super Mario 3D World. He had a few little side missions in there, not very extensive ones, very short, very quick. However, anyone who played Super Mario 3D World will say the Captain Toad missions were a shitload of fun. They were, Captain Toad, he can't jump, he can't hop around like Mario and the rest. He just sort of slowly waddles places, and as a result, moving platforms that required you to slowly navigate and get around in order to collect all the stars in an area. It was really refreshing and a really different way of playing the game, and I genuinely was thinking, hey, I would play many more Captain Toad levels after Super Mario 3D World. Meaning I'm incredibly happy that it's actually happening, because yes, Captain Toad, yes, go for it, Captain Toad, I love it, ah, yes. Sorry, getting excited, but yeah, Captain Toad. Totally up for that one. That one's coming winter this year. And yeah, I'm assuming November is what I'm going to guess at. And I'm going to guess at Super Smash Bros. For the Wii U at least would be December. Trying to Nintendo won't release 2 huge games for the one console within a week or so. If it's different consoles, then they'll release them quite close together, but when it's for the same console and they're exclusives and they're big titles, you need at least a 2-week gap, and I think Nintendo know that, which is why I'm saying it's going to be like December for Smash Bros. On Wii U, and we'll see Captain Toad in November. And then the next thing that comes up is Aonuma, and he's just talking about, again, the conventions of Zelda, which is a little something we've heard from him repeatedly since like early last year. And again, he's talking about changing the conventions, the way that people explore the game world, and how they did it in past Zelda games, like the original Zelda and Wind Waker. And, you know, I don't think anyone ever complained about the original Zelda or Wind Waker, because they are such awesome games. And he's saying, I want to recapture these experiences, or I want to do it without having to be so linear. And then he just snaps his fingers, and the world of Zelda fucking appears, and it looks gorgeous, it looks incredible, it looks vibrant, it looks colourful, looks like everything's moving and wind's rustling in the fucking trees and shit. And then he says, you see those mountains in the background? Yeah, you can go there, you can go there. And I'm looking at it, I'm like, holy fuck, holy fuck. I don't know how they're going to properly define the edge of the world, the edge of the map. He may have very selectively chosen a piece of the game world where you can't actually see the edge, but it looks just absolutely earth-shattering. Been a lot of controversy about this lately. People have been saying Link is a girl. I watched the trailer, right? As soon as Link ripped his cloak off, there's a ponytail, and I was screaming at a TV, it's a girl! It's a girl! It's a girl! It's a girl! Genuinely thought Link was a girl. And one thing I want to make really clear here is that I'd be perfectly okay with that. One of the reasons I thought that is that after listening to his Conventions of Zelda speech for like the 50th time or whatever, I did think to myself, what if Link was a girl? What if Link was a girl? What difference would that make in how I enjoy the game? And to be perfectly honest, it would make no difference whatsoever in how I enjoy the game. Link being a guy, Link being a girl, it simply doesn't matter. At the end of the day, you're exploring the land of Hyrule, solving dungeons, completing quests. That's what matters in this game. I don't care if it's a boy or a girl. It could be not even a human character, and still I would be adoring it. And ultimately, that's what matters. Aside from that, I've got to say that the land of Hyrule looks incredible. I want to say the grass is moving, the trees are moving. In the world there were farmers with goats, which are things that we've never seen before. We've never seen NPCs actively out in the open and doing things like that. The closest thing we've seen is like a Goron, which will break down a boulder, or the odd scripted sequence. Usually in the land of Hyrule, you don't see NPCs out in the overworld because it's filled with monsters and dangers. Aonuma made it very clear that this is a peaceful land of Hyrule that had been invaded by monsters, which is a Zelda convention that they won't change. But this one looks more peaceful than usual. Because in for example, Twilight Princess, Link had to set out for Hyrule Castle, and the world was being plagued by monsters on the way. He knew it was going to be a dangerous journey. There was no NPCs on the overworld because everyone in that world knows that you shouldn't be walking outside like that. It's not something that goes down. However, this time, it's very different indeed. We've got a world which is genuinely peaceful. People can leave their houses, leave their villages, go walk out into the open, and they'll be okay, or so they think. This is a world that's being more freshly afflicted by a villainous menace. It's not something that's been going on for a while, unlike in many other Zelda games. Exceptions to that rule, I would probably say, are the 2D Zeldas. For example, A Link to the Past and A Link Between Worlds, maybe even the Game Boy games, because you could find any NPCs anywhere in those games. And that is one thing that Aonuma did say. He wanted to rekindle those sorts of environments the same way Zelda 1 did. You can go in any direction, and that is where the game starts, deciding which direction to go in. Oh, taking a breath. Okay. But yeah, the enemies look incredible. Link looks incredible. He definitely has a fucking sword on his horse. It's on the side of his horse, on the horse's right side. There is definitely a sword there. On the left side of the horse, there is definitely a shield. No bullshit. There is definitely there's definitely going to be swordplay. This is a Zelda game. People saw him using a bow and they're like, "Oh my god, Link is a bowmaster now and fuck all else." There's definitely a sword and shield. Just shut up. There's definitely a sword and shield. It's just not going to happen without. Okay? Sword and shield's there. Let's move on from that. Stop questioning it, guys. I'll just quickly talk about the enemy, which looks like some sort of BMOS, Octorok, fucking land crawling monster moss rock thing. It looks awesome. And then Link at the end pulls out this special arrow which quite clearly bears the same design as the monster does on its body, meaning whatever the blue lasery light bullshit coming out at the end of the arrow is the same lasery light bullshit that was being shot at Link by the monster. We'll probably see that's got to be a story tie of some sort, maybe an ancient race, some of their shit got awakened or whatever, some bullshit like that. The fact is, it's going to be great because it's Zelda. Straight after that, we see Pokemon Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire, which, it's Pokemon Ruby and Sapphire rebuilt in the fucking X and Y engine. That's totally okay with me. You know, we've had one Pokemon remake every console generation now. Red and Blue was on a Game Boy Advance. We saw Heart Gold, Soul Silver on the DS, and now we're seeing Ruby and Sapphire on the 3DS. Perfectly okay with it. Each has had its own game engine. Yeah, fine. For me personally, Ruby and Sapphire was the very last time I got really excited for a new Pokemon generation. It's not, mate, you know, don't get it twisted. I played the shit out of Diamond and Pearl and Platinum. I played the shit out of, well, I played Black and White. I can't say I loved it the same way I did the others, but it was there and I enjoyed it certainly. After that, we get more footage from Bayonetta 2 from Platinum, which again, it looks fucking awesome. We've seen a lot of Bayonetta 2 now since last year's E3, and it still looks fucking great. It still looks fucking great, and there was a nice surprise at the end. Where we get Bayonetta 1 in the package, complete with some Nintendo costumes. Certainly, so far we've got Link, Peach, and Samus costumes, which change up the moveset Bayonetta has, apparently, and even adds in some sound effects and extra bonuses, making Bayonetta 1 suddenly really fucking interesting for me. I was actually going to buy Bayonetta 1 on like PS3, play through it for Bayonetta 2, but now I'm like, well, I don't need to. I'm just going to wait for Bayonetta 2, and it looks fucking fantastic. Next up is Hyrule Warriors, which I've been hyped for a while, and we got a release date of September 26th, at least for the USA. And playable characters now include Midna and Zelda, as well as Impa and Link, of course. The moves look graphically stunning. There's armies of monsters, there's lots of stuff going on. At one point, I don't know if the screenshot was actually in the Direct itself, but certainly there were screenshots after the event, including one showing what looked like the moon being pulled down to Earth by a hook shot. The moon was straight out of Majora's Mask, but up-resed and HD and very shiny indeed. Yeah, look fucking awesome, man. It looked fucking awesome. The game looks great. Even if you're not a Dynasty Warriors fan, I don't know. For me, the game looks fantastic. I've played what Omega Force have done with like One Piece Pirate Warriors, and I'm also a big One Piece fan. And for me, I thought that was a really, really solid game. What I've learned over the years is that when licensed games come out, all too often they either butcher the source material or are just a bit shit. However, this is being overlooked by Aonuma, so I do believe the source material will be intact. I believe quality will be intact, and to be honest, I thought One Piece Pirate Warriors was a very, very competent game. I feel like they could have maybe put some more effort into it, but it looks like that's exactly what they are doing with Hyrule Warriors. Oh no, September 19th it says, not 26th. Sorry guys, my mistake. How the fuck did I... Oh wait, no, I'm watching the UK one. September 19th is for UK. September 26th. It looks like it's going to be the US, which is not. Yeah, I didn't actually know that. I was just watching the UK direct. Next up we see Kirby, and it was the Rainbow Curse. Rainbow Curse? Rainbow Canvas? Shit, hold up. Let me look at this. Let me look this up. Yeah, Rainbow Curse or some shit like that. Basically, it's a sequel to what we saw on the DS years ago, Kirby Canvas Curse, where you drew lines for Kirby to sort of skid across and skim across and generally traverse the world in that way. And it was a spectacular game, met loads of critical praise, and to be honest, Rainbow Curse for the HD looks just as good. And again, it has this beautiful style, which I'm going back to from the Yoshi's Woolly World discussion, and this time it's all claymation. It looks like clay. It actually looks like fucking clay. I don't care what you say, it looks like clay. It actually looks like the characters and the world has been molded into place. Absolutely gorgeous. No questions whatsoever. It looks fucking great. After that, we finally get a title for X, which is Xenoblade Chronicles X. Up till now, we've only seen like shots of gameplay, and now we're actually getting like a story trailer. It looks like after the events of Xenoblade Chronicles, I haven't actually finished it, so I can't be sure, but it looks like they left the Bionis in search of bigger and better things in space. And this could be years later, this could be decades, could be centuries. Point is, later on, at some point, it looks like they're trying to find a better place to live in the universe, or possibly even disappear from it because they are detrimental. You know, humans are the arseholes in RPGs, as we've learnt. Next up, we see Mario Maker, which was leaked ahead of the event, and you get to create Mario levels on the Wii U gamepad. It looks pretty good. It looks pretty good. I think it looks good. I'll play the shit out of it. People have noted that the new Super Mario Bros. U tile set it is using, it actually is fully 2D, not actually 3D Mario like in the actual game. It's just a 2D tile set, but that's fine. And they have said that they want to have a lot more different tile sets in the game. So a lot of stuff to look forward to with that one, for me at least. It looks really creative, and as long as you can share those creations online, then that's going to be a really great game with infinite replay value, especially for Mario fans. I know they said that there weren't going to be any Mario games, but that's not so much a game as it is a level creator. I'm hoping we'll see that as a digital download. It did say 2015, which I thought was a bit odd because I thought it was going to be a digital download for like later this year. But no, a 2015 game, which, you know, I'm still okay with that. Splatoon comes up next, and I think I shared everyone else's reaction with Splatoon when it first got shown, because it was, well, it's unfamiliar. It is a brand new IP, and let's not make mistakes, this is a Nintendo first-party project. First I thought it was Nintendo's grabbed a third-party developer, and they've been like, oh, could you make us an exclusive game? No, this is Nintendo's in-house project, with Miyamoto's proteges heading it off, and they said they want to do to the shooter genre what Mario Kart did to the racing genre, and that makes perfect sense. Let me explain that one. When you play Mario Kart, you're playing Mario Kart. I said to my friend when Mario Kart 8 was getting hyped, I was like, it looks so good, it looks so awesome, I can't wait for it. And he said, I can't get excited for it, man. It's just a racing game. And I said, no, it's not just a racing game, it's Mario Kart. That's different. The thing is, with a racing game, you might not like the genre, and you'll write off most racing games, and you'll be like, I don't really like racing games. But then Mario Kart comes out, and it's completely different. It's so simple to start playing, but has a decent skill curve to keep you playing. And it stays interesting, it stays incredible, and the items make it frantic, and you need skill to actually aim with the red shells. You don't need so much to aim with the... I mean, you need skill to aim with the green shells, you don't need skill to aim with the red shells, etc, etc. There's loads of items and possibilities in the game. Overall, it makes it more than just a racing title. It really does. And that's what they're trying to do with Splatoon. They want to make this sort of game where even if you say, oh, I don't really like multiplayer shooters, this is different. If you die, it doesn't matter. You'll pop back into the game and you can start covering the world with paint. You have the level is territory, and what you cover with your paint is your team's territory. You can travel through that as a squid, either in a stealth mode or you can run around openly if you wish. The thing about this game is that when I looked at it in the E3 digital event, I was like, you know, this could be good. I'll play the shit out of it. I will totally play that. I'm hyped for it. And then I looked at Nintendo Treehouse Live and I was like, oh shit, this is fucking awesome. There is apparently going to be full voice chat throughout games, not just in the lobby, full voice chat for your team throughout games. Whether that's restricted to friends or not, they haven't confirmed. But I think Nintendo realised that this is one of those games where voice chat actually matters. There are a lot of games out there where you don't need voice chat. I don't need voice chat for Mario Kart. Of course I fucking don't. But a team-based competitive shooter, you know what? I would like to have voice chat as an option for that. And they've supplied it. And remember, you don't need to buy a dedicated Wii U headset. Get a fucking cheap pair of headphones with a microphone attachment for like a hand, you know, those shit hands-free kits for mobile. That will work. I got a pair of £10 headphones from Wilkinson's. I didn't even realise it had a microphone on it. And I was playing fucking Call of Duty on Wii U. I was talking to a friend and someone's like, why do you keep talking to yourself? Oh shit! I didn't realise my voice was going out. You know, I love the fact that Wii U can use gadgets like that. But yeah, Splatoon, incredibly colourful, incredibly well designed, and I really believe them when they say they're going to do to the shooter genre what Mario Kart did to the racing genre. I genuinely believe them. I think that's entirely possible. I think they're going to try their fucking best, and whether or not it will take off in the same way Mario Kart did is something completely different. But I think there's a huge amount of possibilities there. I watched it on Nintendo Treehouse Live for hours, and the more I looked at it, the more I really do think that Splatoon has a lot to offer. A lot to offer. And I like the fact you can see the map and where people are spreading their paint on the gamepad in real time. It really does make you think, oh, there's people, I'm going to run right into that area and either gun them down or start covering over their paint, or even you could look on the map and say, hey, there's no one up there. Then again, you could get ambushed by someone in hiding in wait. There's loads of possibilities, and that game will be released next year. What time next year? No idea. This, for me, you know, never heard of Splatoon before. Seen nothing of it before now. But it looks very solid, and it looks like they've got a lot of the game nailed down. So, first half of next year, I don't see being an impossibility. Failing that, I'd say summer. Alright, then at the end of the Nintendo digital event, Reggie goes on about the Smash Bros. Invitational, invites people down, and then has a nice, really nice animated trailer for Smash Bros. Where they announce Palutena as a character. Turns out that leaked 3DS screenshot of Palutena from ages ago seems to be fucking legit. Who knew? I certainly didn't. Although all the hints were there, so it could have just been photoshopped and it just got lucky that it was correct. But yeah, so the animated trailer starts off with Link and Pip fighting one another, and it totally made me think, yeah, I would buy the shit out of an anime for Smash Bros. Or a Nintendo anime in general. If it was done correctly, I would buy that. And yeah, Palutena arrives, and she looks great. I really loved the trailer, and in the game she looks great. Really excited for it. Dark Pit appeared, and then right at the end of the digital event, Miyamoto appears, playing a blurred out game on a screen, and what that game turns out to be is Star Fox U. Yes, the game that many people have been asking for so long and many people thought would never actually fucking happen. It totally happened. Wow. Thanks, Nintendo. Thank you. No, that's genuine shit. Thanks, man. That is something I really wanted. They have said that it's in early development, and they haven't even given a time window. They haven't said 2015, they haven't said 2016, they haven't said anything. They made this very clear. This is really, really early stuff. The same thing goes with Miyamoto's Project Guard and Miyamoto's Project Giant Robot, which I'll go into in a second. This is all really early stuff that they've only just started experimenting with. Star Fox U, it looks like on the gamepad you'll get a view from the cockpit of the R-Wing, and whereas on the big screen you'll see the R-Wings flying about and where you're shooting at, where the enemies are around you, etc, etc. And I would buy the shit out of it. At the moment the graphics look very basic, the gameplay looks very basic, the areas look very basic, and they said it was very early on. But then here's the next thing. It turns out Project Guard, which is a game where you have 12 cameras set up around a base and robots invade the base, and your job is to control the cameras to shoot down the robots invading. Makes sense, very simple, straightforward game. The cameras in the game have Star Fox logos on them. Miyamoto said in the interview that you may have noticed this, and he is considering what to do with these games, and very much hinted at A, the year of Star Fox. I'm okay with that. And another thing he hinted at was that Project Giant Robot and that Project Guard could in fact be part of the Star Fox universe, or even in Star Fox U. Project Guard sort of makes sense. I could imagine a little tower defense style mini game where you're monitoring a base, shooting geezers off. Well, I don't know. You could be doing that on the gamepad. Not necessarily saying this will happen, of course. You could be doing that on the gamepad while other people are using Pro Controllers or Wii Remotes on the TV, controlling R-Wings, shooting stuff from around it. That would be so awesome. I'd love that. He's also gone into things saying that the Star Fox universe is something, he says, isn't necessarily just in the R-Wing. You don't have to be just in the R-Wing. In the other games we've seen things like the Landmaster tank, and he wants to make it clear that he sees the Star Fox universe being one where there can be loads of different vehicles, including mechs and such. And that ties directly into Project Giant Robot, a game where you literally use the gamepad to swing your weight around and push enemy robots over in a giant city. Could we see a giant fox-style robot in Corneria beating a giant wolf-style robot? Yes, I could totally see that happening, and I'd totally be happy with it. The fact is, as long as they get the gameplay down and make it solid, they can do whatever crazy idea they want, and I'll buy into it. Because at the end of the day, I want different experiences, and I want good gameplay. If those two things are on the Nintendo Wii U, then they have won E3 for me every single year. Now, maybe not last year, because we all know last year was Sony's year. Sony dominated last year, and Nintendo's press conference was okay, but not the best. You know, Super Mario 3D World turned out to be a spectacular game, but the footage they showed wasn't the most exciting, etc, etc. Moving on from that, I've already obviously spoken about Project Guard and Project Giant Robot. The last thing we really want to speak about is Codename Steam for 3DS, which they actually put a lot of time and effort to. A steampunk, Victorian style shooter where Abraham Lincoln has put together Codename Steam, which is, what was it? Was it Strike Team Eliminating the Alien Menace or something like that? Codename Steam, and it's heavily inspired by American comics. The developer said several times, and it's made by the guys who made Advance Wars and Fire Emblem. So it's a strategy, turn-based game with real-time third-person shooter elements. I can't really explain it, to be honest. I watched videos of it and trailers, and I still didn't fully get where the game was going. Certainly have a Steam gauge which dictates the moves you can use and how far you can move, but then you can also get spotted by enemies. So there's this stealth mechanic to it. I'm not entirely sure where it's going at the moment, but it looks fucking awesome. I can't remember what they said the release date for that one was. I'm fairly certain it's going to be either very late this year or more than likely early next year, I would say. But Codename Steam definitely looks like something to look out for. For me personally, Fire Emblem Awakening was probably the best game of last year, or very, very close to it. Certainly the best 3DS game. Despite A Link Between Worlds coming out, I thought it was the best. And as a result, incredibly hyped for Codename Steam. And to finish everything off, I just want to say, once and for all, why I thought Nintendo E3 2014 was the best E3 presentation. And the reason is pretty simple, I'm sure you can see what it is. A whole bunch of brand new games, including a new IP, all of them actual gameplay trailers from in-game engine. No CGI bullshit. The closest we got to CGI at Nintendo's event was probably when Reggie fought Iwata in that one scene. Aside from that, we had a very cinematic cutscene from Zelda. I'll give you that it's very cinematic and likely does not reflect actual gameplay. I will agree with that till the end. I'll agree with that till the cows come home. However, you can't deny that that in-game engine looks fucking incredible. And it excited me so much more than what Scaleborn or Scalebound from Platinum Games on Xbox One could. Let's face it, I've said I like Platinum Games. I'm a fan of their games. I think they're incredibly, incredibly good developers, which is why I'm hyped for Bayonetta and Bayonetta 2. However, I can't get hyped for CGI trailers. I think it looks really interesting, but without an actual in-game footage, I can't get excited. I just can't. I don't care about GTA 5 coming to next-gen consoles and PC. We all knew it was gonna happen. It was absolutely obvious, and I wasn't interested the first time round. The most interesting games that I saw at E3 this year were Dragon Age 3 and The Witcher 3, and they're multi-platform games. I already own a PC. They look spectacular, don't get me wrong, but they're multi-platforms. There's no reason why I shouldn't watch an Xbox One conference, see The Witcher 3 and Dragon Age 3 and say, yeah, that'll make me want to get an Xbox One. No, I can already play those games. I already have the systems, I already have the technology. I don't need to buy an Xbox One for it. Similarly with PS4. If I am going to buy another console, it's going to be a PS4. And if I am going to buy those games on a console, it's going to be on PS4. But the fact is, neither of those presentations would make me excited, would make me want to buy those consoles. You can't get me excited by saying, here's some exclusive character. You can't get me excited by saying, here's an exclusive gun, here's an exclusive weapon, you get exclusive skins. You can't get me excited for any of that. I want you to say, here's a brand new game, here's why you need to play it. The best thing that the Xbox One has had to show since launch have been Sunset Overdrive and Titanfall. I want to make it quite clear, I think both games look really great. I've played Titanfall, it's been out for a while of course, and I think it's really quite good. I think those are the two games that if I was going to buy an Xbox One for, it'd be those two games. But then again, Titanfall, it's a multi-plat. And Sunset Overdrive, watching some of the gameplay footage, there's something about it that seems a little bit rough or a little bit clunky. I'm obviously going to hold all opinions until the game actually releases, and it could in fact be spectacular. There's something about it that I'm not super happy with, but I love the art style they've gone with. I love the colours, I love how it looks. They have massively stepped up their game since last time. But, well, like I said, a lot of the games have been multi-platforms. I think The Last of Us coming to PS4 is great and everything, but let's face it, that's no surprise. Uncharted 4 is coming to PS4. What did we get to see? CGI teaser. Again, it's CGI teaser. That's not what the game looks like. That's not indicative of gameplay. You're not telling me anything with that. You might as well have just said, yeah, we're developing it, and this is the same amount of hype I would have had. Okay? There's no point in showing me CGI teasers, because I don't give a fuck. I just don't give a fuck. You can shove it up your ass. I don't want to see that shit. I want to see the actual game. I don't want to see lies anymore. I'm sick of it with Ubisoft as well. We saw Far Cry 3 when it first got showed at E3. It looked a million times better in that first trailer than it ever did in the final game. Same with Watch Dogs. We saw that first trailer, it looked a million times better than it did on current gen, next gen or PC at max settings. Total Biscuit even said himself he can't run it with 2 Titans on his system and 16 gigabytes of RAM and a next fucking processor. He can't run that game in ultra at 60 frames per second because the game is optimized like a bag of dicks. I'm sick of being lied to by developers. And then I looked at Nintendo's presentation. Everything everything was solid, everything was about the games, and the only multiplat that they showed was Smash Brothers, and guess what? Still a Nintendo exclusive, because it's just Wii U and it's just 3DS. People say, why are you a Nintendo fanboy, Dave? This is why. They actually showed me games that I'm actually interested in, and I can't buy on any other system. Nintendo wins E3. If you disagree with me, I want to see those dislikes. I want to see those comments. I want to see you shouting at me. I want to see you calling me a dickhead. But the fact is, that's not going to change my opinion. I've put a lot of thought into this. I've watched all the conferences. I've looked at it from every angle. I'm always going to be happy to play new games from different publishers and developers on different systems. Like I said, if I had the money, I would have every system, and I would have Xbox Live Gold and PlayStation Plus and all the features. I would have all of it if I had the money. But I'm not a rich man. I'm a usual guy, and I'm going to buy what's most interesting to me, and that is by far and away Nintendo. They've got original games, they got unique games, they got unique art styles. I'm not seeing a homogenized piece of shit. I'm not seeing loads of crap shoehorned in because they didn't have enough time. I'm not going to see any of that bullshit. But since we said that, Assassin's Creed Unity looks really good. I'm not sure about the 4-player co-op though. To be honest, Assassins, one man against the world, it's an underdog story. 4 trained killers hunting down one fucking pussy old mayor guy. You know what? That is some sort of weird ganging up bullshit that I don't want to be a part of. Suddenly that game got really weird for me. Okay? It's one thing, one assassin changing the world, 4 trained killers ganging up on one guy in a fucking powdered wig. It's fucking weird, okay, Ubisoft? It's fucking weird. Maybe he really was an arsehole who deserved it, but it's still, you know, it's definitely not a fucking fair fight. And I don't like that at all. Alright then, thank you very much for tuning into Odder's Plays today and my incredibly long rant on E3 2014. As always, I want to hear your opinions, your disagreements, your agreements, everything. I want you to share the video, I want you to like, favourite, subscribe, of course. I don't want to tell you, I want you to tell me why I'm wrong, why I'm right, why you agree, why you disagree, and why I am a dickhead. Thank you very much for listening, thank you very much for watching, and as always, thank you very much for supporting my channel.